And welcome to yet another live stream here today. Welcome back, fellas. We are here yet again, and we are playing something quite a bit different from usual. We're going to be playing Plague Inc. Evolved. Now, I have mentioned this game several times on the channel before, not as a game that we were really going to play or anything of interest or even of relevance to us. However, I have mentioned that I am a gigantic fan of Plague Inc. By gigantic fan, you can see right here just what I'm talking about, right? Every single scenario completed on Brutal, and then Shadow Plague completed on Mega Brutal. This is without me ever recording anything, and also, another point of very important context, this is like the 7th time I've done this in my entire lifespan. I've done this various times. I've got probably, I think, like 6 different versions of this game, not even kidding you, on various different devices. I play this game a lot, and also I've been playing this game for a very, very long time. I used to watch Provis Gaming a lot, and yeah. Anyways, we're just going to be playing this and relaxing. That's pretty much it, and we can talk anime or whatever other topics pop up. Let me test my audio. Yeah, my audio seems pretty good. What's up? Welcome in. Ooh, okay, it's been a little while. I'm a little out of my element, but we will get back into it. Also, you can see I've done some official scenarios as well. I've played a little bit of custom scenarios. However, I saved all the fun ones for... What the heck is that? Okay, I don't know if I spit or something on accident, or what that is. I don't know. That was gross. Anyways, just on my desk, there's some random crap. All right, we're just gonna throw ourselves straight into... Let's do a quote-unquote practice one. We're probably going to do... Let's do Necrovirus on regular. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, let's see. Darwinus, Metabol... Okay, we're good. Alright, we'll stick to the name. Craving Dead. What's up, Asher? Good to see you, man. I followed your request, and we're playing Plague Inc. today. Well, I mean, not that it was solely your request, but everybody else's request as well in Discord. Alright, we're going to start in Saudi Arabia, because that's where all good Plague Inc. diseases start. Let me turn the volume up. There we go. Alright. Tell me if you struggle to hear this game. This game can be kind of quiet. What's up, Pedro? Good to see you, man. Turn the volume up. There we go. Alright, hang on. I'm gonna decrease it a little bit. I'm just testing audio and stuff. It's been a little while, so my stuff's out of whack. Also, because of the way my desk is structured and everything, I have to change some of my mic settings, because my mic is much closer to me now. So then, and I don't have to lean over to get to my mic. So this does 2 things for the channel, by the way. First of all, this means that I should have more consistent audio. And number 2 is, ironically, I will probably be quieter. Like, not quieter in a bad way, but quieter just in an even way. Simply because of the fact that I'm not going to be leaning over screaming into my mic most of the time. Since I'm sitting down normally. Before, I was sitting before, but I had to lean over a lot and do a lot of weird stuff. While here I have a legitimate desk. Like, for context, I was using a coffee table for the past, what, like year and a half? Something like that. I've been using a coffee table all this time as my desk. Just so you guys have an idea of how rinky-dink I have to work off of things. And yet, on a bright side, how I still manage to make it work. So I think that's pretty cool. By the way, guys, one thing I want to comment on is the music in Plague Inc. is some of the best in all of gaming. It is simply great. You guys have probably, in fact, heard Plague Inc. music throughout various of my videos. I know, as a matter of fact, so in the gas station one, it was a Gmod roleplay video, I have Plague Inc. music in that one. I have Plague Inc. music that plays in the Nokotan Theory video. Let's see what Pedro said. I've seen someone 100% this game. I have as well. I've actually seen a lot of people 100% this game. I'm not too far off. in the sense that, you know, I could 100% it if I had time. Since obviously you saw... Well, actually, I don't know if you were here by that point. I have 100% progress in all the regular disease types, and I've beat them all on Brutal, and then I beat the Shadow Plague on Mega Brutal, and then I have some other stuff. So, also, the Plague, or the Cure mode, I also beat most of those on Brutal. Or actually, that might have been... It might have been on normal difficulty. The Plague, or the Cure mode is unbelievably difficult. It is very rigged. Okay, alright, nobody's really talking. And Pedro's chatting like normal, but nobody's running off the mouth. Usually we don't get tons of chatter until Yukari and Austin show up. Those two are the ones that talk the most, and then Asher talks more because those two are there. Okay, we're getting some really good spread right off the bat, because Necrovirus... The point of it is that it's cured early on, but then the zombies prevent it from going away. However, we're actually getting some good spread in here. I definitely think the water transmission was a good idea. So how was your guys' day? I've read that, like, hour. I still know what you meant, but I read it as if it was the time hour, like the word hour. So you were asking hour everyone's day, and... Obviously, that's not what you said. Still what you meant, though. And, my day's been going pretty decently. I'm pretty tired today. Thought just doing my usual pondering a lot today. I ponder a whole lot. It's a part of my boredom with life, you know? It's like, if it isn't anime, it's probably too predictable, and therefore it's boring. Mind was boring. Yeah, mine was mostly boring. However, I did have some fun stuff. Let me tell you guys something. Well, okay, first of all, let me comment on what we're doing here. So my goal is to beat ZCOM as soon as possible. ZCOM, in case you didn't have basic inferencing skills, is zombie control, or zombie command, right? So long story short, their goal is to kill all my zombies. Now, they haven't emerged yet, but the goal is to beat them, because once the cure comes out, then they're going to realize it doesn't work. Pedro, I see one of your clones showed up. Or actually, no, this is the original. You had a clone talking before. So, is the clone's day doing any better, or is it like the same day? Do you guys, you know, I never knew. Do you guys share a consciousness, or do you just kind of exist as two separate entities? I don't know. Not really sure. Yeah, we're doing very well, actually. We are doing shockingly well. Okay, now what we want to do, we want to get this here so we can start spreading outward. Oh, come on. Okay, it's not really letting me right now. We're going to do that. Oh, that's because we didn't really have much. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Kazakhstan had a lot of zombies. We are back in business, people. Oh, what's up, Yukari? Good to see you, man. I found my phone. I'll use the same strategy for my terror sleeper agent proxies. Keep giving me ideas. I mean, hey, you want ideas? There you go. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. Just ignore that sound. That would be my garage door closing. The garage is below me. This house is elevated more, like the last, Jesus, I cannot speak, I'm sorry. The lost place, was just flat on the ground. This place is actually, like, not suspended. It's not Ganzier, but I mean, it's up, like, it has multiple floors. Not multiple floors like it's a huge house, but I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know. I don't know what there's a term for this place, but I don't know what it's called. Anyways, we have one of those. It's not like an apartment. It is a normal house. But anyways, let me tell you guys. Well, first let me read the chat. It's just a separate account, no clones. Yeah, you keep telling yourself that. I'm wanted in Finland after I did horrible things in a sauna. I don't even want to know what that means, Yukari, but okay. what was it? I'm getting so many points. This is incredible. I don't even... Normally, games don't go this well. You know what I think is funny? Plague Inc. is one of those games where it doesn't require me to think that hard, so I actually do better when I'm on stream. Because normally when you guys watch me play games, you guys know this, I'm worse at games when I'm being watched, and then I'm better at them when nobody's looking, you know, when I'm just playing by myself. But in this case, it's the other way around. I'm actually better in the game while being watched. Probably just because I'm good at Plague Inc. And so, when talking to you guys, I don't have to think that hard about it, and so I just do my thing and win naturally. I mean, I've been playing this game as basically as far as... I mean, as far back as what is important, you know? Let me get... Okay, we got some decay going on. We don't want that. Alright. We'll send some zombies to the Philippines. Korea. Oh yeah, we're coming for you. Oh, I got the spitter combo. By the way, I have a lot of rare achievements on this game. I think that's pretty cool. I have one achievement that only 1.2% of people have, which is amazing. Is it a duplex? No, that's not what I meant. It's a normal place. What's a duplex again is what Pedro asked. I would make fun of you, but I didn't know what a duplex was until like last year, so. Let's see. Okay. ZCOM destroyed in Ukraine. Yep. And ZCOM's done. Once ZCOM is destroyed in its home, like, base, essentially, then they can't build anymore. So they're just screwed, basically. They're kind of like ice. Do you guys like that joke? Okay, let's send these down to Australia. Oh, there's nothing in New Zealand. We need zombies down there. You guys need to die. It's just how it is. How it's gotta be. Can I not send... Okay, fine. I guess I'll send zombies to Spain then. Polish? Yeah, we'll get to them. We'll get to them. Don't worry. Don't you worry your little self. Okay. Let me get some stuff there. Oh yeah, it's a sweep. It's a clean sweep. Also, you guys are going to see firsthand every joke people make about Greenland in Plague Inc. You're going to watch that firsthand. You know, the biggest tip people have with playing Shadow Plague is to start in Greenland and basically just eat everybody there before attacking any other country. And then you deal with the Templar before actually spreading your disease. With the Necrovirus, it doesn't really matter because they're zombies and they can just go anywhere. And the Simian Flu will basically always start in Africa because that has the most, most simians, most primates. Do you guys know what the simian... I don't even know if you guys know what that is. It's from Planet of the Apes. It's the disease that makes all the monkeys more intelligent. And then they end up killing all humans and whatnot. Or not all humans, but practically all humans. Who's left? There's some place that's left. Oh, never mind. Okay, they're dead now. The Finnish police found my hideout in the ice caves. What are you, Victor Frankenstein? What do you mean the ice caves? Get the heck out of here. Alright, we won. Sweet. I didn't really get that cool of a thing, but that's okay. Alright, we'll move on to official scenarios now that we're done with our little warm-up. What should we start with, guys? Let's see what we got. We got Plague Legacy, Greenland International. Let's see, Mad Cow Disease. Mad Cow Disease is the hardest scenario in this game. It is very difficult. It's the Prion scenario, except you start off being detected, and everything is horrible. Also, there's lethality and stuff early on, and spreading is a nightmare. So, it just flat sucks. Where is everyone is also surprisingly difficult. You know, I used to be good at this one. It used to be really easy. I thought this was the easiest scenario back in my day. Flash forward to now, and this is one of the hardest scenarios. Why? Well, if there's no people in the world, who are you going to infect? Well, the answer is nobody, because land transmission basically doesn't exist. Okay, where is everyone? Well, I didn't say we had to pick that one, but then we got, like... we're not doing Santa's Little Helper. This one's too easy. Teleportation. I also beat it on Brutal, as you can see. Artificial organs, frozen virus, Nipah virus, Black Death. Unknown Origin is literally just the base game, but you start off in a random country. Created Equal, which means nobody in the world is poor. Global Warming, Golden Age, Ice Age, which is just the opposite of global warming, Mirror Earth. You know, global warming is also one of the easiest official scenarios because it's no different. Honestly, I don't even think it's different from the base game. Theoretically, everything is hotter. However, heat never actually bothers my disease type. I don't know why. It just doesn't do anything. Compared to cold, if like the cold actually changes things, it slows everything down. But heat just, I don't even notice it. I'm surprised it's even a game mechanic, honestly. Okay, and then we got Golden Age, which I'm really not sure what the difference between this and Created Equal is. Actually, I think I do know. Created Equal just means there's no poor countries. Everyone's a rich country. Golden Age is like the research speed is faster and everything. Let's see. Mirror Earth is basically rich countries become poor, poor countries become rich, and then what else? Cold countries become hot countries, and so on and so forth. Pirate Plague is literally everybody likes taking boats. It's basically the same thing as the base game. Shut Down Everything is also supposed to be difficult. However, I don't seem to have that much difficulty with it. Smallpox is self-explanatory. Sovereign Default. This one is one of those scenarios that's meant to be easier, not harder, because everybody is poor and everything in the world sucks. Swine flu is that thing you probably forgot existed in 2009 that has never been mentioned again. Volcanic ash, I already beat this one, as you can see. It's basically the same as global warming, except there's less aircraft, so there's less air transmission, which obviously didn't seem to stop me since I beat it on Brutal twice. Then we have Who Cares, which is also similar to Sovereign Default, and then Xenophobia, where border control is basically the heaviest it'll ever be. Essentially, every country becomes North Korea. Okay, let's see. Mirror Earth, maybe? I'll do... What do you guys think? Should I do Mirror Earth or Where Is Everyone? I'll let you guys pick. In the meantime, I'm going to talk about my room a little bit. So, I've got an absolutely awesome desk. So I got a wood desk, similar to before, except before I was using a coffee table, as I mentioned, as my desk. That's right. Whenever I say I don't have much, I mean it. Let's see. What else? I got my same microphone, same laptop, whatever. That's all the same stuff. Router's different. It looks cooler now. It's a little brighter than the other one. However, I kind of like it. It looks more high-tech, you know, even though it's the exact same thing. That's a lie. It's not the exact same thing. It's clearly far, far superior to the last one. My internet connection is unbelievably better than before, but still. That reminds me, I don't know how fast upload speeds are going to be, but I hope they're fast. I know, as a matter of fact, it's faster than the last place I was at, but I don't know if it's going to be slower than a different place that I go to. I don't know. It might be better. What's another thing I was going to mention? Right. My room is, obviously the layout is different and everything, so everything's in different positions, but the stuff within my room is mostly the same. However, I do have, nobody's deciding on what scenario to play, so I'm just going to do Mirror Earth. And then we'll start with Bacteria. We can do the same scenario a couple of times. Creation, okay, here we go. I'll name this the Pedro Pox. There you go. Pedro Pox. Hope you like it. Alright, here we go. We're probably going to do Saudi Arabia. Because I think... Oh. Okay, yeah. Because Saudi Arabia isn't meant to be hot. We just put ourselves in a cold country. Since, you know, it's the Mirror Earth. So that kind of sucks. But it's fine. We are playing Bacteria, though, so we get the Bacterial Resistance upgrade, where climate affects us less. However, that's not really saying a whole lot, because it doesn't do that much, spoiler alert. Okay, anyways, back to talking about my room. So, I've got a Dondodon poster now. Oh, Pedro said do Mirror Earth. I'm already in this scenario, but at least I did the thing you wanted. Okay. What was it? Yeah, I got a Dondodon poster now. Let's see. When do I get my own virus? Dude, we just started. Hold your cheeks. You'll get one. Trust me, we all get one. You just got to be old enough. You all get a I hear it now. You all get a virus. You're old enough. I'm not talking about STDs. That's not what we're dealing with here. Okay. Let's see. Soon, Yukari. Yes, indeed. Soon it shall come. In the meantime, though, I'm gonna get air. Is the country humid now? I bet it is humid. It is humid. I forgot about that. Because of the Mirror Earth scenario, instead of being arid, Saudi Arabia becomes humid, so I should have been getting the water upgrade. I mean, it's fine. I get both anyways. And it's not like the air upgrade just stops working because of the country. That's the thing. Some of these scenarios don't actually change that much. They just add little gimmicks. And then some scenarios are totally different. Like Black Death is a complete twist on the base game. Sorry, I'm stuttering because things are getting intense. Okay, let's see. Wait, I already have. It's called Mega Crabs. That is insane. Mega Crabs. Dang. He's so unhealthy. He has. Wow. I don't even know what to say to that, honestly. He has really bad herpes. Okay. So the goal is we're not going to be detected until we're ready. So in the meantime, everybody in the world is basically going to get infected like this is the wildfire virus by the time they realize anything's up. See, more infectious than HIV. Hope you like that, Yukari. Since you already have HIV, I bet. Alright, let's see. You let them sit down there for long enough, they turn into Terminids. That is actually insane. I don't even know what to say to that. Wow. Wow. You need to make a post saying that, because nobody would even be able to process that joke if you just said it in person. I genuinely don't even know what to... Okay, well, that was weird. That got bad real fast. Somebody ban that man. Ban him. Anyways, yeah, back to the room. So I got a Dondodon poster now, which is really sick. So that's in front of me to my left, which is also to the left of my TV. So that's pretty cool. I have a TV like right in my face as well. So I have my keyboard, mic, laptop, the router's right here. I have a headset next to me. I have another headset next to me, and then a TV in my face. I am consuming pure blue light. What else? I have my FNAF poster that I normally have on my door, so that's pretty cool. What else? So it's also to the left of me, sort of like the FNAF 1 Office Space. I have my two To Love Ru figures. I had these before, but I'm just going to mention it because they're cool. I have Momo from To Love Ru to my right, and then I have Nemesis from To Love Ru on my left, on my desk. And this desk is pretty wide, so I can put some other stuff here too. Then on a little, like, not display case, but this, I guess, hanger thing, for lack of a better term, this wood hanger thing is holding up, what is it? Miku Nakano's headphones from Quintessential Quintuplets, because I have her headphones in real life. They're not a prop, they work. They're Bluetooth headphones, and they're pretty good. And then off to my right, over, you know, in a different part of my room, I have all the same figures I had before, except I have two new figures. So I have a figure from Aramanga Sensei, which is Izumi. It's Sagiri, you know. They only say her last name in the show, really, but Izumi Sagiri is her full name. And then I have behind me a Dondodon figure of Okarun. So that's pretty sick, so I'm weebing out. Let's see, after you name Yukari after the next plague, can you name the next two Cosmic Rust and Hate Plague? Hate Plague sounds like something in an early 1920s advertisement, but okay. They're only big enough to be around huntsman spiders. I wake up when they crawl around. Sometimes it tickles when they nibble. That is... Yukari, do you, like, ever say something that's not completely insane, both in context and worse out of context? Alrighty. If I had to say what the easiest 3 scenarios are in this game, I would probably say Nurax Worm, then Virus, then Shadow Plague. I'd say those are the easiest. Because Shadow Plague is kind of difficult when the disease phase starts, but it's not really that bad. Nurax Worm is probably the easiest because, first of all, there are 2 separate ways to win, which no other scenario has that. Second of all, you can send planes, the Trojan planes, anywhere in the world. So you can basically infect any country you want instantly. And then, what else? You can also warp everybody's minds to where they just stop working on a cure because they start to worship the Nurax Worm. It is the easiest scenario in the game. Then, what else? Then the virus is the second easiest scenario because it works like a regular disease in-game, but the kicker is that you basically, once you hit the phase where you're supposed to be killing people off, you can essentially just flip a button and then your disease starts to mutate rapidly and then you don't have to pay points and everybody will just start dropping like flies. So, yeah. It's similar to Bioweapon, except the Bioweapon, you have to be battling lethality the whole game. And it's also very easily detected. Why is this taking so long? What the heck is going on? Oh, we do not want that. Alright. I'm releasing the Mega Crabs onto the Finnish police officers. Good luck, Yukari. Godspeed, Spider-Man. I should have said it in a better voice, but it's okay. I'm not really in a Green Goblin mood. Why is this taking so long? What the heck are they doing in Greenland? It says it's just hot. That's the only thing that's dragging us down. Is that so? There we go. Now we're back on track. It was the same thing with Canada. The heck? The balls. Alright. We'll wait for that to happen. By the way, side note, the Plague Blossom theme that's playing in the background, this is one of my favorite OSTs in all of gaming. The official soundtrack. It is magnificent. Alright, there you go. Nobody's healthy. Let's go kill everybody now. How do you guys think we should kill him? What is this? They arrested me immediately. This is my last message. Oh, well. Rest in peace, friend. Rest in peace. Anyways, how do you guys want to kill him? Do you want to kill him with, what are you guys thinking? Like necrosis? Or do you guys want seizures? What else can we do? Internal hemorrhaging? Total organ failure? What are you guys thinking? I'll let you choose. We could basically do anything. Essentially. Kinda. Oh. While you guys decide, I'm gonna text WX Analyst. Alright, there you go. Okay, let's see. I blasted off after I had too many Dorito Locos Tacos and carjacked an old woman. I'm going back to the sauna for round 2. My favorite game soundtrack is Gran Turismo. That is interesting. Complete organ failure. It's actually total organ failure. Stupid. Alright, here we go. Total organ failure. There you go. Beautiful. Alright. Take that money, watch it burn. Let them realize the message. Okay. Pneumonia mutated for us. That's pretty cool. So we got even higher lethality. Now, one of the things that's kind of funny is even if everybody in the world is dropping like flies, you want to avoid getting way too high of severity, because then they start just rapid firing the cure somehow. Because I guess the scarier the disease, then the harder working everybody is. They unscrew their brains and immediately figure out how it works, I guess. Alright. Paralysis, here we go. Yep, no cure for you. Oh yeah, they don't stand a chance. Beautiful. Immune suppression, check. Comas, check. Total organ failure, check. And we're gonna end this off with like 50 points. Something like 50? Give me 50. I want it. 51, even better. Would you look at that? And only 53% progress? Dang. And this was an official scenario too. We had this in the bag. Good work, everybody. Come on, go faster. We're done here. Everybody's dead. Move it. 54 points. Even better. Alright, and done. That is one thing I think is really cool about this game, is gameplay-wise, it remains identical, but the game actually accommodates the current world population and year that it takes place where you're playing it. I think that's really cool. Because everything in this game works off percents, which means that gameplay-wise it's identical, but the population actually increases in the game over time. Hence, also why there's the Plague Legacy scenario, because this is how it was back when it was first made. Okay, we're going to play the same scenario, except this time we are going to be playing as the Neurax worm. And we are also going to be doing this on a harder difficulty. Brutal. Love worm. No, we're going to name this Mega Crabs. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, and then we're going to start off... We're actually going to start off in the United States, because it should be poor, since we're playing on the Mirror Earth scenario. Was this? Infect only India and Africa. Those are the places I've done the worst in. Finland too now, I guess. Forwarded from my iPhone. Well, too bad. We're infecting the world. It just like every disease released on purpose, it'll go horribly wrong and it's all your fault. Alright, here we go. Man, it feels so good to sit down at a nice desk. I'm so used to hunching over and doing stupid stuff. This is nice, guys. Just sitting back, chilling, playing games. You know, one quality of streaming is I always think of it, and then it exhausts me to think about. And then I actually start streaming, and then it's not that bad. Now, there are some days where I get really tired streaming. I mean, you guys can tell what streams those are, because I'm usually cranky in them. Like, I typically get that when I'm playing Left 4 Dead. Not because I'm playing Left 4 Dead, but simply because I happen to stream Left 4 Dead when I'm cranky, I guess. Alright, we're getting, let's see, so we're doing Neural Breach, and then Cerebral Tendrils, we all know that. We got the Adrenergic... Sorry, guys. I'm horrible pronouncing things when I'm streaming. Adrenergic, constriction. Beta receptor blockers released, dampening anxiety in the host and lessening severity of allergic reactions in the worm. And then we have anxiolytic infusion, or anxiolytic. Mass synthesis of neurotransmitter gamma aminobutyric acid significantly reduces anxiety in the host and minimizes severity of reactions. So this reduces our severity and makes them less likely to curb stomp us into the ground with the cure early on. Look, one of the dots are in Nebraska. Is it in Nebraska? Oh, you're right. Well, long live the king, baby. What was I saying again? There was something I was going to bring up, and I'm drawing a blank. Right, I'm in a good mood today. So I'm feeling high energy. And then after I'm done streaming, which will probably be at like 10, then I'm gonna play something else. What was I gonna say? I'm sorry, my mind's going a million miles an hour still. I'm still in mass thinking mode right now. Okay, let's boost transmission. That's one thing about the Neurax worm. You really only have to focus on transmission. You can pretty much disregard lethality and just focus on infecting people, which is basically the reason I say it's the easiest scenario, or easiest disease type. What was another thing? Right, I could play this game for hours straight. Pretty much the only reason I stop playing the game temporarily is when I get mad. So, unless I'm rage quitting, then I can basically play this game infinitely. Alright, we're gonna get Psychosis, which I don't have to explain to you guys. The population might say 0 at the end, but that's because I was too covered in mega crabs for the game to see me as a person, and I survived. It won't be 0 at the end. It'll actually be basically the exact same population we started with, because we're going to be getting the upgrade, or the symptom, I guess, that enables everybody to worship the Neurax worm. So, yeah. Population will actually be stable. Let's see. Is there any country not infected? I think we got everybody. The Caribbean? Yeah, they're good. Alright, sweet. Alright, infections are going well. Dude, Africa is just untouched. Dang. Central Africa is the last bastion of humanity. Who would have thought? Alright, then we're going to get Adoration, Devotion, and Transcendence, where they essentially worship the Neurax worm. Also, all infected begin to see the Neurax worm as essentially a god. Isn't it wonderful? Everybody should be infected. You should be infected, as a matter of fact. All of you should be infected. There we go. Worship mega crabs. This is the SCP-001 step into the light. Okay. Yep, and then just to add insult to injury, we're going to get a genetic reshuffle in here, just to jack with everybody. There we go. Beautiful. And you can see the cure slowing down because we're infecting basically everybody. I thought I already got you all. Damn you, Tanzania. Alright, and we win. See how easy that was? Even on Mirror Earth and on Brutal Difficulty, we still sweeped them. Good work, boys. We're just gonna max out Mirror Earth. That's what we're gonna do. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. Alright. We'll save Simian Flu for a different scenario. We'll do Necrovirus again. Streamophile, Darwinus, Terracite, okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, then we're gonna start in the United States again. Okay. Alright, so in terms of YouTube videos, you know, long form videos, I've got 3 planned, 2 of which I've already talked to you guys about. The third one I made in a poll but haven't really discussed with you guys. So basically the idea is that do necrosis. I'm already doing the necrovirus. I guess the stream's delayed though, so it makes sense. Although I think I was already doing it even for you, like for when you said it. So, what was it? lost my train of thought. Right. I said it in the poll. I'm going to do a thing. I remember you guys actually mentioned, like, you should do ASMR, and you guys were joking. But to a tiny extent, it's kind of like that. More so because the focus will be on me talking. Not like, I mean, usually it is on me talking. But there's always at least, like, some little bit of distraction away from what I'm saying. In this case, it will not be necessarily what I am saying myself, so much as what I am reading off. So obviously you guys know the idea is that, hang on, let me read the chat real quick. Yukari is saying, everyone in more populated states cries about prices, but my prices are fine. That's probably because I'm also in Finland. Are you talking about the gas price thing? Because in that case, yeah, gas prices increased and then went back down here. So they didn't really change. Even so, it's a 40 cent increase. And considering we're battling, you know, one of the biggest oil distributors in the world, then yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it could be worse. Could be jumping up $4, you know. I could name some places where it's jumped up $4 at some points. Cough, cough, 2020 California. I'm sure it was higher than that. I'm just saying $4 is like the baseline. Alright, it's gotten bad in some places. Especially during the quarantine. That was, that was god-awful. Speaking of quarantine, I mean, we're literally playing Plague Inc., so I think that's pretty fitting to talk about. That raises a discussion point I want to bring up. But now I'll just bring it up right now. I'll get back to the thing I was talking about before. But anyways, one thing I want to mention is how do you guys ever just stop in the middle of the day and think about how utterly useless wearing masks was during COVID? Anybody ever think about that? I think that's one of the absolute dumbest. Hang on, let's see. World War I war bond on the 17th just busted. What? Asher's alive. He's alive. Asher, I gave everyone in the world mega crabs. That's right. He gave everybody mega crabs. It was pretty gross, but they all really liked it. In fact, they started to worship it. So I would say he did a good job. Anyways, back to important things. You guys remember back during quarantine, everybody had to wear masks when they were going outside? Do you guys ever think about how utterly worthless that was? Everybody says that the reason you wear a mask is because, I guess, you're stopping the mucus when you sneeze, which, you know, that's the point. You sneeze into your arm instead of sneezing on other people. It's literally the entire point of you doing that. Not to mention it's unbelievably unsanitary and just simply repulsive to be sneezing back in and then inhaling the mucus that you just sneezed out. You're sitting there with this thing attached to your face. It's just, and then it reduces visibility and reduces your ability to breathe, and it's worse than wearing nothing. And then everybody who thinks that it's stopping anything airborne is absolutely delusional. It's like, okay, based on, I don't remember which strand of it was, but at one point, the COVID virus was 12 nanometers in diameter. For context, visible light can be as high as 300 to 500 nanometers. So, think about it this way. Hold up that mask to the light, and if you can see through it, which you are able to, it's not stopping anything. It'll pass right through it. The only way you're stopping a virus is if you're wearing a Class A Haslopper suit or an astronaut suit. And obviously those aren't just lying around. Not to mention you can't breathe in them for extended periods of time. Eventually you have to swap them out. Especially if you're moving around. Stationary, it's already a short period of time. So moving around makes it basically worthless for, you know, the use that I'm talking about here. Let's see. I'm wearing a gas mask next time I get onto any kind of public transport. That's right. Yukari stepped on a public transport and was instantaneously infected by some flea bag. Yeah, that's And obviously that stuff happens. And there's not really a way to stop it either. That's just simply what occurs. Obviously vaccines and things help with that. But people get infected with diseases. And really the only key is to stay away from people who are infected. Which obviously you can't tell who's infected or not. So that's the kicker. But yeah, most means don't actually help you. Like, yeah, you can increase your immune system by eating a good diet and exercising, but diseases will still get to you. And it's really just about having a strong immune system more than anything else. Hence why vaccines exist for deadly diseases, because deadly diseases wouldn't exist if it were as simple as creating something to prevent them, right? Diseases are inevitable. And for the diseases that are dangerous and inevitable, then yeah, you have to create provisions for that. Let's see, man, what would one do with a USGI half shelter? I don't know. I got sick with COVID because some dude threw their dirty mask at me. That's gross. I played Minecraft over COVID. Well, I mean, I think everybody did. Everybody was playing some kind of video game, and Minecraft was kind of just the default setting. Yeah, COVID was it was a miserable time. Not because of the disease or anything, but for two reasons. Number one was schooling. Schooling was absolutely god-awful, because you could not focus on e-learning. I don't care what anybody says, e-learning does not help you focus. It made everything worse. They might as well just canceled school, period. Then the second thing, which is more the case, was the fear-mongering. I could not handle the fear-mongering. It was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you couldn't do anything without hearing some crap about COVID. Absolutely anything. You couldn't step out of your house without hearing somebody mention COVID. And it was like, dude, okay, if this virus is like the wildfire virus in The Walking Dead, and I'm gonna step outside and immediately be infected, then heck, I'll take death at that point. Give me liberty or give me death. Which, of course, it wasn't actually nearly on the level that it was described to be. Especially if you were in a rural region. Because, you know, like, it's really only going to be significantly bad for people who are elderly or little kids. Dude, what is going on here? Are you guys seeing this? I've got max combat upgrades. And look at this. What is happening? Okay, I just lose by default. Yep, we lose. Look, did you guys see that? They killed 3 million zombies in the Caribbean in one day. Took 10 milliseconds and they killed 3 million zombies. In the Caribbean. They didn't nuke the place. They just killed them somehow. You couldn't kill 3 million zombies after like a month of shooting them. No less a day. Jesus. Asher said, I give the homeless microwave honey buns. My reason, no homeless problem. Okay. My throat still feels similar to what one would feel if they drank molten honey bun soda. That's what Yukari said. That's an interesting way to describe things. Let's see. Microwave. Make kitty beaver virus. Alright. I'll make the kitty beaver virus. Let's do swine flu. And we're going to call this the kitty beaver virus. Kitty beaver virus. Alright, here we go. And we're going to start off in Mexico. The natural habitat of the kitty beaver, some may say. It's definitely not. But it's not like they'll know that. Alright, do we start out with... We do start off with lethality. That's just fantastic. Okay. Headache, pneumonia. Okay. Does getting rid of this get rid of of the lethality? Or is it just the fever? I think it's both. I should have picked a different trait, but whatever. Okay, fatigue. I don't even see the point of doing this. Fatigue, all it does is increase severity, which actually makes the cure faster. It does not make it slower like it claims it does. Okay, and then swine. We'll do air. Asher said, hell yeah. Not against it if it's in a controlled environment. Alright. Have you guys seen any cool new animes recently? Don't say JoJo's. That's not new. I've been wanting to watch anime, but first of all, I'm really busy. Second of all, I still have, you know, 2 videos to make. And I pretty much refuse to move on to another anime as far as I have, or as long as I have a review to do on a show that I have watched. Just because I'll exit my train of thought for that show if I do. Why are we getting paranoia? Who? What kind of... Why? Okay. Oh, that's right. We're dealing with a freaking virus. So, we're going to have mutation problems. It's going to be annoying. Alright. Trying to give baby words because YouTube keeps taking my messages down. Yeah, that checks out. God praise YouTube. YouTube is the best. We love YouTube. I would give my heart and soul to YouTube. I'd sell it off for 62 cents. Come on, man, with the freaking mutations. Dang, 4 points to devolve. Ow. GUP came out within months. JoJo fun fact. That is, I guess, a fun fact. How old is GUP? I thought it was more recent, or like relatively recent. What is this? Bacterial pneumonia? Oh, not something I want. Okay. Alright, come on, give me points. I need points. Points! Alright. So we want to infect Greenland. If we can infect Greenland, we win. If we can't, we lose. It's that simple. So now we just wait. And wait, and wait. Okay, they're working on a cure, and we're in Greenland. Alright, we win. Victory is all but assured. Asher is putting emojis in chat. Kitty, yep, kitty plus beaver equals God. That's correct. Let's see, JoJo 2012 to now, GUP 2012 to now. I didn't know it was 2012. That's much older than I thought. JoJo is 40 years and counting. Manga. Dang. World Cup canceled? Got him. Alright, let's get that. Come on, work faster. How is infection going this slowly? Why are we getting pulmonary embolism? What is going on? We do not want that. Come on, go faster. What the heck is happening? Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Highly lethal strain? Huh. Bro, do you guys see this? The cure is rapid speed moving. And then infection just stopped. Victory for the kitty beaver? I don't know if the kitty beaver is gonna win. Because I guess Sweden just stopped having people or something. Alright, we're taking full gamble. We're going to hope lethality gets high enough through mutation that we can win. Or they'll just instantaneously complete the cure. I cannot speak. They just manifested a cure in midair. Dude. Oh my god. What's up, Austin? Forgot about the OVA, and yes, I've been here. Oh my god. Okay, let's go to custom scenarios. And we're gonna look up anime. Weebmorph. Someone gave you the greatest power of all time, the power to turn everyone into these anime girls. No. We are not going to do that. What is this? Okay, we got some weird stuff, man. Oh, here we go. What is this? I can't tell what's going to be good and what's going to be weird. I can't read that. Let's try this. Maybe this will be good. Want Weebmorph? We're not doing that. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, use anime creators' nefarious tricks to make everyone into a weeaboo. Okay. Oh, and they gave everybody and their cat ports. That's good to know. Oh, we also start off with a crap ton of points. Crunchyroll? Okay, we're starting off nice and swell. Holy Jesus, the infection rate is terrible. Oh, here we go. Use sponsors on YouTube to increase the amount of people who use Crunchyroll. Does anybody actually think sponsorships work? Because I don't. I've honestly never seen sponsorships work. Very rarely, the weeb can't be cured. What? Very rarely have I ever seen an advertisement of any kind that actually makes me want the product it's showing. Most of the time, it just makes me mad. You know, it's like Granger. Just seeing it makes me have a visceral, angry reaction. What is this? Okay, we'll do that, and I'm not going to comment on it. Great, alright. Sponsorships work very well in motorsports. I just get mad at sponsors. Yeah, I just hate them more. I think Little Caesars is like the only thing where they have an advertisement, and I look at it and say, you know what, I think I want that. That's mostly just because I already like Little Caesars, you know? What do you guys think is worse, working for an insurance company or committing mass murder? Let's say, like, you killed 10 people. Versus working at an insurance. That is actually crazy. I didn't even see that. Pretend like you didn't see that, because I don't like pre-play things, so it's not like I knew that. Yeah, that was weird. I think everybody missed it because it was pretty fast. I barely even got to see it. But yeah, I'm just gonna pretend that wasn't on screen for a minute. What are you saying? Okay, nobody said anything new in chat. Anime barrier? What does that even do? not a whole lot of upgrades in this. Are there even symptoms? No. Already did one, so I can't comment on that. Okay. Let's see. Caribbean. Okay, well, we basically already have all the island nations. There we go. Anime robots. Sure thing. Memes. Why do we need anime robots before we make memes? You'd think memes would be the first freaking step after Crunchyroll advertisements. Oh, here we go. First anime? What is going on? Haven't had Little Caesars in a long time. It's pretty good. Opera GX had some pretty good ads. Too bad it's horrible. I don't even know what Opera GX is. Every time I get an advertisement for it, I just skip it. Friends. When you see your friends, you discuss whether they've watched anime before and that they should if they haven't. Who made this scenario, bro? This is the most bare bones scenario of Plague Inc. ever. Madagascar starts to work on cure. You fool. Can't cure anime. Stupid. Alright, here we go. Third anime. This one is about ancient Japan. What are they even talking about? Katanas? Okay, I guess. Obesity? How did we jump from this to this? How did that change even occur? Is it possible not to kill everybody? That is okay. Alright, we're done. Yep, we're done. Alright, let's see. Official scenarios. Let's go to Sovereign Default. And we are going to play Simian Flu. Alright, Terracite, Rurifile. Alright. Brutal difficulty. And we are going to change this to Austin and the Bros. There we go. And we're going to start in Central Africa, because that's where Austin and the Bros are. Red Bull is a good brand. The drink tastes bad because it's literally flavored to be like medicine, says the original creator in Thailand. Hate how people I hate how people he anime and think weeb. I think you mean hear anime and think weeb. Well, the two are affiliated with each other, so that makes sense. But one thing that does bother me is when people hear anime and think weird. Because people, I don't, that's just, I guess it's, you know. Sorry, I just, okay, I thought I heard something. We're good. We're alright. False alarm. But yeah, I always hate how people hear anime and they think weird, because it's a bad stigma in the United States. I don't really know why it exists, because anime is extremely popular, and there's a lot of really good anime. Another thing about anime is that it's not necessarily a genre within itself, it's an industry. So like anime isn't, you know, like you have, okay, for example, you have sci-fi and then you have horror, right? Those are genres. So with anime, you don't just, you know, it's not anime as your genre. Jesus, devolving is so expensive with Simian Flu. You know, anime is not your genre, it's just the style of what you're doing, and it comes out of Japan. It doesn't even have to come out of Japan. It can come from China or South Korea or, you know, maybe the Philippines does it. I don't know if they do or not. And so it's like, yeah. And obviously the United States makes anime stuff too. So it's not completely stupid. What is this? I have one of the things the game said that made every man close the game. That's nice. We'll not acknowledge that from here on out. Anyway, regarding the anime thing, blame TikTok. Blame. It is definitely not caused by TikTok. I know that as a matter of fact, because I've been hearing since birth, basically, about how weird a lot of anime stuff is. I'd even hear stuff about Pokemon being weird. And Pokemon's as innocent as it gets, really. Or, it's pretty freaking close to as innocent as it gets. Jesus, 9 to devolve? Oh my god. Yeah, brutal difficulty sucks. We're going to work on getting ape colonies so that we can start making some moolah. Alright, come on. But yeah, like I was hearing this yesterday actually. Some people were just talking, you know, the same uneducated morons talking. And they were talking about anime, and obviously they had a very negative tone about it. And anime is one of those things where you have to watch an anime to actually know what anime is like, you know? You can't just assume you know what it's about. And it's not even, and this goes back to what I said before, it's not about anything in particular. It's just an industry of entertainment. So it can be about anything. But people affiliate it with weird things because I guess the most popular... I can't even say the most popular anime include those things, because that's not even true. You know, it's like, okay, think about the most popular anime. You have Demon Slayer, you have Dragon Ball, you have One Piece. If you think about those anime don't have anything really that weird in it, to my knowledge. And obviously, to my knowledge, is, you know, going to be the most common things. And if I haven't heard something weird from it, then probably isn't that common in it. You know, it's kind of like how Arimo, going into it, the title, its reputation, everything screamed that the show was going to be this weird nonsense, like, oh my god, the writer's this disgusting, just foolish, grotesque man. And then I get into the series and I'm like, dude, what is the problem with this? I mean, yeah, it's got some weird stuff in it, kinda, but it's really not that bad. It's not even close to as bad as things that I've seen. And this is another thing we talked about before. Hollywood is able to get away with anything. They can make things as weird as they want, and nobody opens their mouth. But the moment anime does something, then you have all these people jumping on it. And this is pretty much, I don't really know what to chalk this up to, but one of the things that I can think of is Hollywood is rooted a lot in individuals with money, more so than an industry with money. And so the result of that essentially is Hollywood is able to get away with anything, including God knows how many crimes, because you have individuals with lots and lots of money running it versus just an industry itself. It's kind of like how, think of it this way, how much money do you think the DMV makes? Probably, like, when you think about it, they make a lot of money. Same with any local government institution. How much do schools make? How much does, I don't know, the post office make? Well, a lot of money, right? And that's not even including stuff where you're paying them directly, right? A lot of the time it's going through your tax dollars. But think about how much money they're getting. Now, where's most of that money going? Well, it's going to the service, of course. Now, compare this to an insurance company. You see, insurance companies can basically do whatever they want with that money because it's usually going to a CEO amongst a few other people. And so, as a result of that, they have a lot more power than the freaking post office, right? And the post office is government. So, my point with this is, anime is the industry. It is an industry, I mean. And so, because it's an industry, it's a large, all-encompassing general thing. No one individual has total power. Now, compare that to Hollywood, and I don't have to say it, we all know it. Hollywood is tied into every single suspicious crime on this entire planet, including Five Nights at you guys know what game you were trying to get me to play. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what it comes down to. So, culture is obviously influenced by people with power, and a part of that is anime weird and Hollywood not weird. Despite the fact that Hollywood can make stuff like Human Centipede and freaking however... Was Human Centipede even Hollywood? I don't even remember. I know they've done other stuff. They do Cats. You guys remember that? Not to mention a billion other weird things. And they can get away with anything. So, that always annoys me when I hear people talking about anime being weird and then you've got all this crap. Yukari said, FNAE is a masterpiece, shut your mouth. I didn't say it was. Or I didn't say it wasn't, I meant. I was saying it as a reference of you guys know what I'm talking about. You see, one thing I want to try on the channel is I want to try to avoid saying specific words. Because I think when I say specific words on the channel, it decreases how much something is seen. So I'm speaking in coded language, essentially. So I'm going to try that and see how it goes. It's a modern-day Shakespearean work? Sure. Thought one was a masterpiece and the other two were different levels of bad. Top 3 starter anime, DxD, Berserk, Shoujo Ramen. Is High School DxD... Is it romance, or what genre is it? Because I've seen some stuff on it. And it looks kind of good, but I don't know if it's my brand or not. Alright. We'll hold off on that. By the way, side note, the theme for the Simian Flu is so good. Alright. We've still gone undetected, so that's good. Now's the part where we start infecting people across the world. Because we've been focusing on gathering our ape forces up, our intelligent apes. But now we can focus on infecting people. It's not. Without GEX. Okay. I'll have to look it up more. Oh, crap. Okay, here we go. Why is it always Italy that starts with the cure in this disease type? Alright, there you go. Down with the tyrants. Alright, time to make things devolve. Konosuba. What is it? Konosuba is a better show. We've been over this. Konosuba has romance elements, but it is not... I don't think it is romance within itself. Or at least it's not the central focus of it. That reminds me, guys. Oh! That reminds me of a thing that reminds me of something from earlier that was more important. Right, the thing I was talking about with the video idea. I think that's going to be really sick, and I've got some ideas of stuff that I'm going to cover, like different anime, and then I'm even going to, I think I'm going to do something with Star Wars too, maybe during it, I don't know, possibly. And so, basically what it's going to be about is, I'm going to come up with a story, an extension of an already existing series, basically, and it's going to be like a fan continuation of that, basically. So it might be an hour long, 2 hours long, I have no idea how long it's going to be, but it's going to be split up into episodes, I think. Maybe. Let me think. I wanted to split it up into episodes, but then I also want people to watch the full thing. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do in that regard. Maybe I'll well, here's another thing. I don't want to rapid fire release videos because I know YouTube doesn't show videos that are released like back to back to back. It'll do it if you release 2 videos, but not freaking 3, 4, or 5, you know? So, I'm not sure about that. But sorry, I'm just multitasking. What was it? Also, I'm surprised you got this far with Mega Brutal Simian Flu. It's on Brutal, not Mega Brutal. I've done Mega Brutal Simian Flu before, but I'm not doing it here just because if I were doing it by myself, I would need to focus. On stream, there's only so much I can do, since, you know, I can only focus so much when I'm on stream. I'm not saying it's romance, I'm just saying it's a better show. Oh, well, yeah, I'm sure it is. Ow. There's like a hole in my head. What the heck's going on? That freaking hurt. Oh, God. Ow. It's not bleeding. I don't know what that is. I don't know, it's like dead skin or something. It's above my eyebrow. It's not like I shaved them. Or shaved them myself, at least. With eyebrows, it's always better to have a professional do that. Otherwise, you'll look like Terry in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, that one episode where his eyebrows are shaved off. Alright. Oh. They have a drone up in Siberia for some reason? Okay. Well, let's have a camp up in Brazil. I said up, I meant down in Brazil. What is that? Weird Al almost mentioned. Everman, do you like polka music? Not really. I like classic rock. Maybe some disco. What else? Opera. That kind of thing. I like quite a bit of stuff. Alternate rock. Heavy metal. Basically, with my music taste, it's more about what I don't like rather than what I like. So what I don't like is country music, dubstep. I mean, dubstep, I don't know, I just wouldn't listen to it, you know? If it started playing for some reason, then I'm sure I wouldn't mind it, but it's just not something I'd actively try to listen to. So, like, dubstep, country is easily the worst. Rap music, most rap. There are a few decent rap songs. It depends on who it's from. If it's Eminem, it's probably good. If it's not him, I don't know, maybe. Outkast has good songs too. But it's hit or miss with rap. Country, none of it's good. Not a single song. What else? Dubstep, I mentioned that. Death metal, don't like it. Punk rock, really depends on who's singing it. If they sound like a prepubescent teen singing it, then it doesn't sound good. Why is Canada taking so long to be infected? What is going on? I've both cold upgrades, both drug resistance upgrades. What more do they want from me? Nope, don't want neuro enhancement. 27 to devolve is actually insane. Like, I do not know any disco artists other than Panic and Earth, Wind and Fire. Okay, not even Johnny Cash or Johnny Horton. I did not stutter. Not a single one of them is good. In my opinion, I don't like a single country singer. Not one on this planet. I hear a lot of people bring up Zach Bryan. I personally think he's the worst singer I've ever heard. I know people love him. Some people don't like him because of his personality. I don't care about people's personality. I care about what they do. Sure, he's talented. I mean, yeah, of course he's talented. He's got to be that freaking famous and have that many songs. But my God, I do not want to listen to that man's voice ever. It is like nails on a chalkboard. I'd rather listen to Yoda sing, genuinely. If there were an AI video of Yoda, that would be better to listen to sing. Alright, I guess we're doing lethality now. Where's the lab at? Oh, there. It was in Colombia for some reason. Modern country is pop music from people who wish they were farmers. Yukari, I wish I could mod you a second time just for that comment. That was perfectly articulated. Yep, it's true. Creedence, Johnny, and Learning to Fly are the only good country artists. I wouldn't really say Creedence Clearwater Revival is country. I don't know if they even count as country. If they do, then I guess they're an exception. But they're also like, they're, 60s and early 70s, I think. So, well, I know 60s. I don't know if they did stuff in early 70s. I assume they did. So, like, they're also older. Creedence is like half country, but I count them, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really sound country. Or at least not compared to the modern standard. Come on, give me points faster. Faster, dang it. Come on, they have a lab. Dude, what is going on? They're making a cure. Alright, there. We got away. Look at all their camps right next to each other. Alright. Johnny Cash is also 1960s and Horton is 50s. That's another thing I don't like. I don't like most music from the 1950s. Or prior to the 1950s. I mean, there's some good songs. And this is, by the way, this isn't including opera. Opera is the exception, because most classical music I'm not including in this. I'm talking about, blues, early jazz, that kind of thing. You know what? I take it back. There's some good stuff, but I'm just thinking of that Fallout style. The music you'd hear in a Fallout game. That's what I'm thinking of. There we go. Recently gotten into hillbilly banjo breakdown music. It's great. By the way, you should try banjo metal. Yeah, I'm not gonna try that. Very wait, no, we've talked about this before. I was gonna say a very underrated band is Styx. Very good band. I mean, obviously you've heard their songs before, but you might not know it's them. They're definitely not a one-hit wonder. You've at least heard 3 of their songs before. You've definitely heard Renegade, what else? Mr. Roboto, probably Blue Collar Man. There's stuff like Lorelei. Not sure if they play Lorelei on the radio. I know they do Renegade and Blue Collar Man. Apes Creed, that's fitting achievement. Johnny, get your gun. Dude, banjo metal is goated. I've seen Styx live, dog. I don't know what you've seen live. I don't monitor your life. Alright, cool. The funny thing, I think it said I won and there was like 220,000 humans left. Oh well. There we go. I beat Simian Flew on brutal difficulty for Sovereign Default. That's pretty cool. How long have we been streaming for? It's been an hour and 24 minutes. I didn't even realize that. Okay, I was just looking at Discord. Okay. Let's do official, or no, let's go to custom scenarios, and we're going to do stuff I know is good. So, like, let's see. We're going to do Xenomorph. Oh, this is... Yeah, this is something for the Steam Workshop. Never mind. Maybe we'll do that another time. Let's see if there's other stuff. I know there's the Jurassic. Where's that at? Jurassic Planet. Here we go. I know this one's good. We'll play on Brutal. Release the dinosaurs. You've taken control of InGen. Now it's up to you to wipe humanity from the face of Jurassic Planet before they can finish the cure, a bioweapon capable of eliminating the dinosaurs from the planet. So basically, InGen from Jurassic Park goes full SCP-5K. That's what this is turning into. So we've declared war on the world. That's what we're doing here. Alright, let's start off in China. Good old China. Let's see. Foreigner is more underrated in my opinion. Yeah, Foreigner is kind of underrated. They used to be extremely popular, but now they're kind of forgotten about. Even though they obviously are really good. Now they have songs on the radio, which is better than most people can say. I should, let me rephrase that. They have multiple songs on the radio, which is better than you can say for most people. Because usually the radio picks one freaking song per artist and is like, yeah, that's good enough. Unless it's Taylor Swift or something. Well, heck, even Taylor Swift, she'll release one song and then they'll worship that song until it gets milked enough and then it's on to the next one. Alright, here we go. Disable guard towers. Remotely take down security towers around the planet, allowing for easier land travel for your dinosaurs. By the way, this is another thing. Unless we're doing one of those South Korean dating games again, I am not going to be reading the dialogue for stuff that we play. If there's like text, subtitles, or whatever else, you guys can read it yourself. I'm not reading it out loud every time because I get very exhausted reading stuff out loud. I'm fine with talking myself, but I'm not fine with reading every single thing. You know, it's like I expect you guys to know what all these creatures are. Come on, you know them. You know Microraptor, come on, we've all played Ark Survival Evolved. Aquilops, you know it. Let's see, the Dillong. There's a joke dying to be made here, but I'm not gonna bother. Alright, let's start releasing some of the stuff here. I'm surprised the Megatherium doesn't count towards lethality. I'm just gonna say that. Hass Eagle. I mean, that makes sense why that would have lethality. Almost every dinosaur should have lethality. And obviously, it's not just dinosaurs. We have some Cenozoic era creatures here, too. I like the custom icons I made. Also, I've been overanalyzing The Wall by Pink Floyd for the last week and a half. What did you come up with? Shrug off bullets. Okay. This is just drug resistance. What does China count as? Oh, just urban? Okay. Everyman, do you think Nickelback deserves the hate it gets? And if so, why? I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent to it. I mean, I'm not a fan, but I'm also not, like, I guess opposed to them. My area has a station called 101.9, best channel we have. That's what Yukari said. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what mine is, because obviously that's like shooting a flare off at my location, but ours is pretty good, making it harder to research. So is this just genetic hardening, or what is this? I can't tell. I don't know. I'll get it. Cannibalism. Okay, that's weird. Well, so is it really cannibalism? Because it's different creatures eating each other. They're not all the same animal eating one another. G&G, where the F does one start? Why do they deserve hate? I'm guessing you're talking to Austin, because I didn't say that. Alright, Avaceratops. The problem with this scenario is everything builds up lethality. And we're playing as a bacteria, not a bioweapon. So it's not like we're meant to be racing against the lethality. Although I guess it's inevitable. I could genuinely make a rant video talking about the wall ATP. I don't know. Maybe make the video. It'd be cool to see. I'm sure it's been analyzed by a million people before, but it'd still be interesting. Let's get some charity work in here. Even though everybody already knows we're scum, let's still try to scam them out of their money. There we go, disable guard towers. Let them know. I would read that comment, but it's way too long and I'm in the middle of this. You know, I'm really excited to do that, even though I know I have to do other videos first. I know. I'm really excited to do that thing where I make a story and then read it off. I think that'll be really cool, because it'll be kind of like those story recap channels, but, you know, here in the wonderful, beautiful land of the everyman. The only thing about it, though, is it's not necessary. I mean, it is anime, or it's going to, like, the base idea of it is most of it will be anime. So I think it'll still get traction, just because well, that's another thing. I can never tell what is going to get attention on my channel and what isn't, because I do completely random things. So because I do completely random things, I can never tell. I don't even think YouTube knows what it does and doesn't give me lots of views on, you know? Because I mean, I do everything, you know? I said you know several times. I apologize about that. Whenever I get tired, I start to use repetitive language. Farmers love dinosaurs. You know it. Kill every cow. Inaugural World Dinosaur Day. Let them know. Yep, dinosaurs everywhere. Stiggy Moloch, give it to me. Coupon Day. Okay. The thing was released in like 81 and goes as far back as 68. Dang. Blue Oyster Cult. Let's see. Blue Oyster Cult's first album was released in the 1960s. Was it really that far back? Whenever I think of Blue Oyster Cult, I always think of mid-70s. Even though obviously they did stuff before that. Alright, let's set the research back. Why is the US the only country not getting infected? What is going on? You dang well know everybody in the US is hugging the first dinosaur they see. We're not playing these games. Bro, look at that! I look down at the cure progress. It's instantaneous. It's instantaneous. How are you even supposed? You can't even fight that. We just went from brutal difficulty simian flu, where it slowly creeps up, to this, where it just jumped 20% faster than my eyes could process what was going on. Well, I guess my mind would be processing it, my eyes would just be seeing it. Okay, should I listen to Raise Your Skinny Fists Do what you want? Yeah, that's an accurate response, Yukari. I don't know. Do what you want. Alright, we're going to play one more scenario, and then we're going to be done. We're going to try, keyword is try, mad cow disease. Which is really difficult. But we're going to try it anyways. We're going to start in Brazil. Let's try that. We've had good retention on the stream. It's good to know. Alright, psychosis. Headache. I'm trying to get rid of the unnecessary stuff. Like pins and needles. Why would we even want that? This is probably the most useless symptom in this game. All it does is increase severity. Has absolutely no trade-off. We want to limit severity just enough to where they won't completely lose their freaking minds. Always start in Saudi Arabia. Well, I normally do, but I'm streaming this, so I want you guys to be more entertained. And being more entertained means starting in different locations and not the same thing over and over again. Because I care more about you guys having fun than winning. Almost as much as we would have if you played FNAE. Now you see, it doesn't count for things I'm not playing and don't plan to play. I still have standards, you see. Another tip, the more stuff you guys beg me to do, the less of that stuff will actually be done. Because, you know, I still got Whispers of the... Like, Whispers of the Heart, that is the only thing that is genuinely guaranteed. And the only reason I haven't done that is just because I have absolutely zero time. But, I mean, that's 2 hours. Once I got time for that, which I probably will soon, 2 hours, done. Now, I'm not going to make a review video on it, probably, but it'll still be done, and then I'll talk about it. But, GUP, definitely, I mean, I said no to JoJo's. You guys just happen to keep bringing that up because it's a meme. What else? This game we're mentioning, I'm pretty sure there's some other stuff too. Every time Asher brings up the kitty beaver, etc., all that stuff, it's going right down the toilet. Yukari said I'll listen to the Fist song real quick. Calling it the Fist song sounds very wrong. Alright. There's something I was going to talk about. Yeah, I know. Now, one thing I did want to do... Let's see. So, with that idea I had where I'm narrating over a story and everything, I'm definitely going to... Hey, let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah, plant dissemination. I'm definitely going to be doing one for... I think the first one will be for Yandere Simulator, just because there's a lot of potential there. And because I like the setting of the story, but there's a lot left to be desired. So, it also has one of the lowest risks, because some people are really picky about adding onto their stuff. Like, I'm just gonna throw out an example. Doing a continuation of Kaguya-sama Love is War, I don't know who's gonna jump on my rear for doing that, because obviously you're allowed to do whatever you want if it's just fan stuff and you note that it's just fan. You know, I mean, it's technically classifies as fan fiction. But at the same time, it's like, alright, everybody and their cat could headhunt me for doing that. So I want to start off with something a little bit safer, where it's like, alright, you're basically untouchable for doing it. Just before we start off, you know, before we get into stuff like Star Wars, things like that. Star Wars, you can do whatever you want. I know that as a fact. But it's once we start getting into the bigger, like, actual anime shows and things, where we're coming up with additions to it, that I want to be prepared for that. What's another thing? Do you guys think I should split it up into episodes, like multiple videos, or do you guys think I should just do one long video? Because if I do a long video, it might be like 3 hours long, and if I do it into multiple videos, it'll be kind of like those story recapped, or not story recap, those are all one videos, but I mean manga recapped. If you guys ever see those, the manga recapped have multiple parts, and then they have one video that is all of those parts put together. I could do something like that, but the problem with it is the retention. You see, people can watch one whole video, but getting people to watch multiple videos, even if they're connected and you need to watch them for a continuation, is really difficult. Now, the way I know this is because the Squidward Prison Life videos, I was able to get, you know, one of those would get 100 views, another would get 40, another would get 20, and then another would get freaking 80. And they were all different parts. So, like, the final part of Squidward Prison Life has the most views of any of the parts. Then episode 4 has, I think, the second most. And then episode 3 has basically... Was it episode 3 or 2? Has basically none. Then episode 5's even worse. And then the last episode has a bunch. And so you're like, okay, how did people not go... You know, you'd think you'd watch the end of something and enjoy the end of something. You'd want to see what came before it, but apparently not. And it goes the same way with people who started it off. It's like, alright, you watched episode 1, you had fun with that. Why didn't you watch the next few episodes, you know? It's all one big storyline. So getting people to stay and listen to a storyline is really difficult. So even though... And this is where the dilemma comes in. You see, your watch time and your retention would be better if you had one long 3-hour video. However, the click rate will be worse. But then if you do multiple videos, it's the other way around. Your click rate will be better, or theoretically it'll be better, but your actual content of the video will be worse. And this is another thing that differentiates my problem on YouTube with other people's problems on YouTube. You see, one of the biggest things is I always want the audience to be having fun. Now, this seems like a good thing on paper. However, the biggest problem that this introduces is essentially, I don't know how to, like, con my viewers, if that makes sense. So I focus on people having fun, but what this means is that it drags down my ability to expand my channel. So, how do I word this? I always think about what people are going to enjoy. And so in order for people to enjoy it the most, I want them to see and listen to the entire story. Which is why I like the idea of having everything in one big video, is because if the video is 2 hours long, you just listen to the whole thing and it's like watching a movie, and that's awesome. But the problem with this is a lot of people aren't going to click on the video in the first place because it's 2 hours long. Or if they click on it, they're going to sit for 2 minutes and then leave. However, if you have multiple parts, it is better for your YouTube channel, and I'm aware it's better for my channel, but it bothers me because I know people aren't going to watch every single one of those parts. And the reason it bothers me is they're not going to finish the story. They're going to open, it's like somebody that's going to buy your book, then open it up until they get to page 20. Then when they get to page 20, they put it down and never read it again. And as a writer, you want people to read the story. You didn't make it just sell it. You made it so they can read it. So when they do that, then it's worse. It feels like it's not worth it, And so anyways, my big point with this is essentially that I would much rather people watch, listen, and enjoy the story than for me to get more views. Right, so that's why I'm debating whether I should put it into multiple videos, split it up, what I should do. Now, there's an alternative. By the way, I'm going to lose again because freaking Canada, it is like just the immortal. Nobody can die in Canada, apparently. New fact. Anyways, what I could do is I could do both. So I have little videos, like I have it split into multiple episodes. And then I can do one big video after all the episodes are done. And the big video is just technically a compilation of every single one of those episodes put into one big thing. And then farm views that way. But it falls into a similar problem. I don't know if people are going to actually watch it or what, I don't know. I just wish there was a guarantee of people seeing it. Because I said this last time, I don't care if 1,000 people saw it. If it were 1,000 every time, I would never complain. That would be absolutely perfect. But because there's no guarantee of it, you don't know how many people are or aren't going to see your thing. Therefore, it's, it's very difficult. Okay, so I have beaten every single thing here up to nanovirus on regular difficulty. Then on nanovirus I had to use casual because the plague mode is completely rigged. I can't even beat this on regular. I think it's impossible. And I looked it up. It seems to be impossible. And also 1.2% of people have beaten this on any difficulty, which means only 1.2% of people have beaten this, and that means a large majority of them probably beat it on casual. Which means it's probably like 0.3% of people have actually beaten this on regular. Meaning it's practically impossible. It's actually way worse than doing a FNAF like 2020 mode. Nanomachines, son. They harden in response to emotional trauma. You can't beat me, Jack. Okay, I know it's physical trauma. I'm just playing into the memes. The memes, Jack. The memes. Okay, we're gonna do virus. And we are going to be dealing with COVID. Let's go with the real COVID. And we're going to start in Central Europe. Yo, guess who's here? What's up, WX? Stream's almost over, but luckily you didn't come at the very end. We still have a game to play. We're doing Plague Inc. The Cure. One single match of Plague Inc. The Cure, where we're most likely going to lose immediately, because this mode is the hardest mode in this entire game. Basic, and we're on brutal difficulty, and we're dealing with a virus. So, we're screwed. See, this mode wouldn't be hard if it wasn't for the authority mechanic. The authority mechanic's the worst part. Because you lose authority basically for breathing. Alright, here's what method we're going to do. We're going to pay everybody and their cat a bunch of money. Then we're going to lock down every single country in the world. That's our idea. And this is a virus, so there's definitely no stopping its spread. goody, they're resisting. Dude, there's nothing like the entire world dying, and these guys want to, you know, freaking complain. Why are you shutting our country down? We're only dying by the tens of millions. It's like, what more do you want from me? Look at this. Non-compliance is at 0, and they're still freaking attacking me. Let's get censorship programs up. Look at this. The infection isn't spreading at all, and they're still mad at us. This is why the authority mechanic sucks. You could have literally defeated the disease, and people will still destroy your organization, and you'll lose. Because they're basically just killing themselves. It's kind of like it's like that episode of SpongeBob where they intentionally all get themselves infected with a disease. Just for no reason. Just to make the audience mad. Look at this. Look at the authority. I lose, and we're winning. You guys all saw that, right? You guys all saw that? There's literally no disease. We eradicated the disease. And they overthrew my authority. Look at this. Look at how that disease all goes away. It's gone. Wow. Just wow. By the way, I'm about 99% convinced that it's impossible to beat this mode on Brutal. But when I say impossible, I mean, like, genuinely, they didn't playtest it. Well, okay, I know they didn't playtest this stuff. They playtested the base game. They did not playtest the cure mode. That is for dang sure. Found it. Ooh, shutting down the borders. Shutting down the borders. But it's like I'm dropping non-compliance to as low as it gets, and they still don't comply. You can't do any more. Also, you saw how a random country just got infected for no reason? Yeah, that tends to happen. Welcome to modern day politics. I saw that comment earlier, but I was busy. Yep, that's modern day politics for you. They pretty much just protest because they feel like protesting. That's basically it. Watch, I'm gonna drop lethality to nothing, and they're still gonna be mad at me. Guarantee it. Look at Africa. Everybody's resisting. Yep, armed conflict. Yet I'm saving all your lives. How about that? The disease literally doesn't exist anymore. We've basically defeated it. And you're still mad at me. You guys see how I just got that upgrade and then somehow non-compliance is increasing? Or at least my authority is going down faster for some reason. Yeah, that happens. Just because. Yeah, this mode is rigged, as you guys can see. I can do everything right, and it's never enough. Everman, do you like music that goes against the USSR and was almost banned from the Union while being from said USSR? That was a very confusing statement, so you should probably rephrase that. I don't know what you mean. Do you like music that goes against the USSR and was almost banned from the Union while being from said USSR? I think you could have just said, do you like music from the USSR that is against the USSR? In which case, sure, I don't listen to Russian music. The only Russian music I've ever listened to is the USSR's national anthem, just because everybody's heard that. Look at this! Look at authority going down! The disease is gone! I lose. Look at this! There's no disease! We're done. Yeah, we're done. We're wrapping this up. But I don't want to end it like this. We'll do one more. The freaking... This mode is so rigged, there aren't even words for it. You can do every... By the way, this isn't just me. If you look up anything on this game, and you look up the forums, and you also look at the discussions on Steam, everybody in the Plague Inc. The Cure section is talking about how rigged this DLC is. They didn't play test it at all. That is a guarantee. You should try KNHO. They're a cool 80s rock band. Also, notice how the places of non-compliance tended to be from the anarchy countries in Africa. Well, they do it. Okay, even if non-compliance wasn't even a factor, it would still... My authority would still be dropping for no reason. That's just how this mode works. They really just don't care. Nothing makes sense in this mode. You pretty much just lose for playing. Your defeat is inevitable. I'll go under the desk to cheer you up. That is crazy. Watch this. I'm going to drop fatality basically to 0, and they're still going to be mad at me. Yep. I could eradicate the disease, and they would still all hate me. This is pretty much Green Goblin's quote. What they love to see more than a hero is to watch a hero fall, fail, die trying. In spite of everything you've done for them, eventually they will hate you. Why bother? Who up plaguing they Inc? What? Me, apparently. This is our last match of tonight, which is Plaguing the Cure, aka the most rigged mode in this game. We beat multiple scenarios on brutal difficulty, then we get to this, and it's basically impossible. There's nothing you can do, possibly. No matter what you do to slow down the disease, it doesn't matter. Everybody will still destroy your authority. Lethality rates are basically non-existent, yet authority will always collapse, no matter what you do. You failed humanity. Yeah, sure. Got 2 people dying. Doesn't matter. I think it's funny. You could play on the hardest difficulty as disease in this game and sweep the board. Then you play Plaguing the Cure, you could have it all, and you still lose. We're gonna do Zine. Here we go. We're gonna do this scenario. Do Simian Flu takes the longest. I want to do this fast. Let's do Nurax Worm. Let's call Border Hoppers. There we go. Alright. Mega Crabs? Not this time. We already had that match. Getting a little tired at the end here. Just a little bit. Wish I had more time in the day, you know? But just early in the day, I'm so freaking occupied doing other stuff. Because I want to stream and then go play my own games, but I really only have time to stream. And obviously streaming takes priority over my own stuff, or my own games at least. But it's still just annoying. I didn't get the upgrades before they started working on a cure. I was distracted, and here we go. Here comes the sun. Alright. Get cold. Austin Bear said, if you go back to the clone drone stream I joined in, then check the newer ones, every man is noticeably less joyful. Yeah, it depends on which one you pick. Because the clone drone streams, I'm having a lot of fun. Pick a newer stream, depends on which one. This one, I'm tired right now, because I've been streaming for about 2 hours, and I started streaming at like 8 o'clock. No, it was 9 o'clock, really. But early in this stream, I was having a blast. And I'm still having fun. I'm just less enthused because I'm tired. But, yeah, depends on what stream you go to. Because some streams I'm really stressed out, Other streams, I'm having a great time. And then some streams, I'm being goofy. Alright. Let's hope Canada unscrews their programming and gets infected faster. Where's this? Send it to Canada. Yep, let him know. He's been busy and he's crunching for us. I can understand why. Yeah. One thing is, I always try to keep you guys in mind. So whether I'm doing school stuff or whether I'm moving objects around the house or whatever, I'm constantly thinking of ways to entertain you guys. Just because, I mean, it's what I like doing. And one thing that always haunts me is video ideas that don't get done. Because you may think I forget about stuff, like forget to do certain video ideas. One thing is, I basically never forget things unless I purposefully forget them, which is really just me repressing them from my memory, usually because it brings me stress. But if it's actually, you know, if it's like a video idea I never did, I probably didn't forget. I probably remember and just don't want to do it. Either that or don't have time to do it. And the longer videos go without being made, the higher the chance that I'm not going to make them. Now, with review videos, it's a little bit different, because reviews are simple, and while they do take a long time to edit, they're simple enough that it's like I don't have to come up with a thing for it. You know, whenever it comes to Gmod videos, the likelihood of getting a follow-up video is really hard and really low, because I have to think of an entirely new storyline every video. And that takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And I don't use AI for writing, so that also, you know, it's not like I just type something in and come up with a story. I always have to, like, sit and ponder it, and then I have to think of how it's going to be applied and things like that. So that's why Gmod videos don't get follow-ups a lot of the time. Reviews always get made, guaranteed, if I say I'm going to make them. Otherwise, I just say I'm not going to do it. However, of course, they take a lot longer. Tier list videos are kind of a whimsical thing. Like, they're comedic, they're goofy, but they're also done arbitrarily, so I just kind of do it whenever. Streams or, you know, whatever you guys want or whatever I feel like I want to do. What else? The new idea is going to be great. However, it took me, I did this yesterday. I hopped on Yandere Simulator, since I told you that would be one of the things I would do that video idea with, among various other anime. And I didn't realize that, okay, on YouTube, I've heard a lot about how the game's unfinished and things like that. I played 1980s mode, and my mentality of it is, if you play the game and treat 1980s mode as the main mode, and treat Ryoba as the main character instead of Ayano, and then treat Ayano like DLC, then the game is infinitely better. That's the first thing. Second thing, I got on to the game, started playing as Ayano for the first time. Turns out the game's finished. I didn't know it was finished. I thought it was incomplete. Now, of course, he's still adding stuff. There's still stuff that's being thrown in the game and whatever. But I thought the game was like, oh, there's 3 rivals, and once you kill the third or fourth one, then the game's over for Ayano, and that's it, and only 1980s mode's finished. I get on there, turns out all the rivals are in the game. So, you can imagine my reaction when I go, holy crap, there's a lot of people. And then on top of that, I also, in addition, I start playing it, and I'm like, wow, this is infinitely more complex than the 1980s mode. So you know what I have to do now? I gotta do my homework. And when I say homework, I mean I have to play the game all the way through so I know what I'm doing storyline-wise. Because let me tell you guys something. You know this, and I know this. I'm a writer. And a part of being a writer and writing good storylines is I am not content to just make stuff up. I have to have everything to the letter accurate. And because of that fact, I mean, you see this in my Gmod videos too. Even though they're all goofy, you'll see a level of consistency you won't find anywhere else. And continuity that you won't find anywhere else. The reason for that is I can't stand, it's almost compulsive. I can't stand when things are inconsistent. So if I make a fan continuation of that storyline, I can't just make up like, oh, it's the year 2046 and this is what's going on. No, I can't do that. You know why? Because I need to know every detail of everybody's backstory, every moment of the year, what is technology like in the time, who died, who's alive, how many kids did this character have, who's their spouse, everything. I need to know every last thing. I mean, I read stuff, it's like, all right, it's the Central Intelligence Agency, basically. I need to know every detail about everything that I am doing. Because if it isn't original by me, like if I'm not totally conjuring it up out of nowhere, then I need everything. So, and then that's what I do with reviews too. Sorry, I just, not stuttered. Was that stammering? I don't know. One of my words wasn't articulated very well. I apologize. I've been drinking water in like 4 hours. What was I going to say? Right, whenever I'm just manifesting stuff on my own, it's whatever. But if I'm referencing it, I do that with reviews as well, where I need every single detail I think is going to be useful so I can talk about it. And that is unless I'm doing a speed review. If I'm doing a speed review, it's probably because I don't know what to say about it, and I just felt like making a video about it. So then I blend the two, and I'm just like, all right, here's the thing. I did that with Tomo-chan as a girl, and I did that with Loving Yamada at level 999. The latter was because I didn't know what to say about it. Tomo-chan as a girl is because the series is short, and there's not a whole lot to comment, even though Tomo-chan as a girl is actually like my 6th or 5th favorite anime that I watched. I still didn't get to talk that much about it just because I didn't know what to say. There's not that much to say, really. So, it's just, it is what it is, right? Anyways, with continuing a storyline, I need to do absolutely every last thing to know every detail from who brushes their teeth at what time. Yes, I saw your comment just saying toothbrush. Everything. Absolutely everything. I need to know every detail. So, I gotta do my homework on that. Once I do that, which means playing through basically the entire game and learning all the mechanics for the 2026 mode, which, by the way, fun fact, Ayano in Yandere Simulator is almost the exact same age as me and graduates the same year and everything. Thought that was kind of funny. Didn't really realize that. Because 2026 and all. So anyways, that's just details on that. That's going to take me a little while. In terms of the 2 videos that are coming up, the review video is just going to be me figuring out what to say, because I might need to create a script for it. Not because I don't know what I want to say, but just because I don't know how to articulate it well enough, especially when it comes to Arimo. There's a lot of mixed emotions that goes into that show. Excuse me. Then in terms of, what is it? There's another thing as well, another video. Right, in terms of the other video, I'm going to need to make a script for that, guaranteed, because it is really hard to articulate, and one slip-up can make me sound weird. So, if I don't already in that video. Then I'm going to be doing the story video, and there's that. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. Let me read the chat real quick. Wait, Everyman, didn't you need an anime to watch earlier? I just got one. I said that I would want to watch one, but I don't have time for it. Let's see. Reminder not to forget Whisper of the Heart. Yeah, I actually mentioned that not even 10 minutes ago. I need to know what countries the U.S. screwed up by the time a time skip to 2046 happens. Okay. At first, I thought you're sorry, I just big time stuttered. I'm tired, so I start to do this. I thought your comment was irrelevant, and then I read it, and then went, okay, no, this is relevant. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what happened with the United States. I'm sure it will be at least moderately relevant. Also, because the focus will be on the characters and not on, world politics, then I'm probably not going to have the United States, controlling Japan or something, or like China invading, even though that'd be kind of cool. But I'd save that for something else. The actual story will just be, a little more. I would call it sci-fi, but it's not really sci-fi. Like 2026 was sci-fi 50 years ago, right? Heck, it wasn't even sci-fi 50 years ago. It was sci-fi back in 2012 when Black Ops 2 came out in 2025 was the future, and it was like, oh, we're gonna have all this super advanced civilian technology, and then that didn't happen. It's like that. So 2046 on paper is going to be like, whoa, guys, we have neurochips that you can link into virtual reality, and your senpai's a fictional character, Then the reality of it is like, oh, we have slightly better microwaves, and my dishwasher talks to me, Like that, that's real useful. What is this, George W. Bush cameo? Not in that video, but maybe in another one. I don't know. I can make a short, throw them in there. Anyways, fellas, this has been a pretty good stream. I had a lot of fun playing this. You guys can tell I'm high on energy in this stream. I'm getting tired toward the end, but that is more my cognitive function declining, not so much my actual energy decreasing, if that makes sense. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. It was good to see you all. And all of you were here besides Dodge and technically Jacobs. That's good. Even WX showed up, even though he probably fell asleep by now. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, a comment, and I will see you all in the next stream/video. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic life. Goodbye, everyone. We made it to 2 hours and 16 minutes. Good work.